whole left side is paralyzed. But his mind is perfectly clear and untouched.
Will he recover?
He'll improve with time. But for the present, he needs rest, quiet, release from every disturbing problem.
Yeah, but how's that possible? Everything that comes to the president's a problem.
Wouldn't it be better if he'd resign and let Mr. Marshall succeed him?
No, Edith. He's staked his life on getting the League ratified. If he resigns now, this great incentive to recovery will be gone.
Besides, his resignation would have a very bad effect on the country. For that matter, on the whole world.
Our thought is that you have everything of an official nature come to you. You can weigh the importance of each matter and, in consultation with the heads of the various departments, decide what he must see and what can be left to others. In this way, Edith, you can be of great service to him.
No, I can't do it. It's too great a responsibility.
Even though his life may depend upon it?
In that case, there's only one answer. I'll try. Here.
Well, Mrs. President...
Woodrow!
What's on tap for today?
Don't you dare to call me that. You know very well I never even made one decision without your knowledge and consent.
Well, I know it. You know it. But do our enemies know it?
I'm not concerned with what our enemies know.
You should listen to them, my dear. You learn a great deal.
Such as what, Cousin Woodrow?
Well, during the war, for instance, I never would have dreamed that Edith was a German spy if I hadn't kept my ears open.
Nor, I suppose, that you bargained with Wall Street to bring on the war in the first place.
For that matter, I never would have suspected that I was insane if the Senate hadn't sent the Honorable Albert Fall to look me over.
Oh, that man.
I don't see how you can take it so calmly, Cousin Woodrow. I'd scratch their eyes out.
Oh, Woodrow handled Senator Fall beautifully. As he was leaving, that gentleman said, "Mr. President, the Senate is praying for you." And Woodrow, without batting an eye, asked, "Which way, Senator?"
I'm afraid I'm much more concerned with what my grandchildren and their generation think of me than I am with what the present lords of the earth have to say. No memoranda today?
They've passed the Volstead Act over your veto.
Well, now we'll have prohibition. I trust. Oh, Tumulty.
Governor, the Democrats have nominated James Cox of Ohio.
Cox on one side, Harding on the other. Cox for the League, Harding against it. Well, the lines are drawn. It's clearly up to the people to decide.
Governor, it appears that Senator Harding has won an overwhelming victory. Senator Harding has issued a statement to the American people declaring that the League of Nations is now a closed incident.
Thank you, Tumbley.
Yes.
Well, Edith?
Yes, Woodrow.
If these good people will excuse us.
Good night. Good night, Woodrow. Good night. Good night, Edith.
Night, Woodrow.
Is that everything?
That's all. Here.
I'm sorry I won't be able to stay for the inauguration ceremonies, but Mr. Harding and Mr. Coolidge have been kind enough to excuse me. I told them it was bad enough for the Senate to throw me down without my stumbling and falling up the steps on my own account.
Mr. President, 8 years.
Goodbye, Marshal.
Goodbye, Mr. President.
Goodbye, Mr. Marshall.
Good luck, sir. It was a pleasure serving under you.
Thank you, WlsnN.
Mr. President,
Daniels, we've taken a house in S Street. I hope to see you there often.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you. God bless you. Goodbye, Mr. President.
Goodbye, Alexander.
It's a great honor to have been in your cabinet, Mr. President.
Houston, thank you for your very able support.
Goodbye, Mr. President.
Goodbye, Wilson.
Mr. President, now that the United States has rejected the League, can we ever hope for peace, a real understanding between nations?
Yes. I'm not one of those who has the slightest anxiety about the eventual triumph of the things I've stood for. The fight's just begun. You and I may never live to see it finished, but that doesn't matter. The ideals of the League are not dead just because a few obstructive men now in the saddle say they are. The dream of a world united against the awful wastes of war is too deeply embedded in the hearts of men everywhere.
Goodbye, Mr. President.
Goodbye, Mr. Payne. And I'll even make this concession to Providence. It may come about in a better way than we proposed.
Goodbye, Mr. President.
Just Woodrow Wilson now.
You still have 1 minute to go, Mr. President. Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, Baker.
Bye, Edith.
We hope to see you often.
Mr. President,
Senator Lodge.
Mr. President, a joint committee of the House and Senate is here to notify you that the Congress has completed the business before it and now stands ready to adjourn. Unless you have some further message.
The President has nothing further to communicate.